Hey, this is Sleeper, and welcome back to the Bug Bounty Hunter job role path from Hack the Box. We are continuing our modules. Next up is attacking web applications with Ffuf. So we'll start, as usual, with our module summary. Web enumeration is one of the most important skills any penetration tester must possess. While manually navigating websites and clicking all the available links may reveal some data, most of the links and pages may not be published to the public, and hence are prone to be less secure. In this module, you will learn how to locate hidden pages, directories, and parameters within web applications, and leverage these to attack the target web applications. In this module, we will cover finding various web application pages and directories, identifying hidden vhosts and subdomains, fuzzing for PHP parameters, and fuzzing for parameter values. So let's go ahead and start. Let me put this in full screen. Introduction. Welcome to the Attacking Web Applications with Ffuf module. There are many tools and methods to utilize for directory and parameter fuzzing / brute forcing. In this module, we will mainly focus on the Ffuf tool for web fuzzing, as it is one of the most common and reliable tools available for web fuzzing. The following topics will be discussed: fuzzing for directories, fuzzing for files and extensions, identifying hidden vhosts, fuzzing for PHP parameters, fuzzing for parameter values. Same thing we just went through. Tools such as Ffuf provide us a handy automated way to fuzz the web application's individual components or a web page. This means, for example, that we will use a list that is used to send requests to the web server if the page with the name from our list exists on the web server. If we get a response code 200, then we know that this page exists on the web server, and we can look at it manually. Web fuzzing. We will start by learning the basics of Ffuf to fuzz websites for directories. We run the exercise in the question below and visit the URL it gives us, and we see the following website. The website has no links or anything else, nor does it give us any information that can lead us to more pages. So it looks like our only option is to fuzz the website. Fuzzing. The term fuzzing refers to a testing technique that sends various types of user input to a certain interface to study how it would react. If we were fuzzing for SQL injection vulnerabilities, we would be sending random special characters and seeing how the server would react. If we were fuzzing for a buffer overflow, we would be sending long strings and incrementing their length to see if and when the binary would break. We usually utilize predefined word lists of commonly used terms for each type of test for web fuzzing to see if the web server would accept them. This is done because web servers do not usually provide a directory of all available links and domains unless terribly configured, and so we would have to check for various links and see which ones return pages. For example, if we visit hackthebox.eu/does-not-exist, we would get an HTTP code 404 page not found and see this below. However, if we visit a page that does exist, like /login, we would get the login page and an HTTP code 200 OK and see the page below. This is the basic idea behind web fuzzing for pages and directories. Still, we cannot do this manually, as it would take forever. This is why we have tools that do this automatically, efficiently, and very quickly. Such tools send hundreds of requests every second, study the response code, and determine whether the page exists or not. Thus, we can quickly determine what pages exist and then manually examine them to see their content. word lists. To determine which pages exist, we should have a word list containing commonly used words for web directories and pages, very similar to a password dictionary attack, which we will discuss later in the module. Though this will not reveal all the pages under a specific website, as some pages are randomly named or use unique names in general, this returns the majority of pages, reaching up to 90% success rate on some websites. We will not have to reinvent the wheel by manually creating these word lists, as great efforts have been made to search the web and determine the most commonly used words for each type of fuzzing. Some of the most commonly used word lists can be found under the GitHub SecLists repository, which categorizes word lists under various types of fuzzing, even including commonly used passwords, which we'll later use for brute forcing passwords. Within our pwn box, we can find the entire SecLists repo available under opt useful SecLists. The specific word list we will be utilizing for pages and directory fuzzing is another commonly used word list called Directory List 2.3. It is available in various forms and sizes. We can find the one we will be using under locate directory list 2.3 small.txt. Tip: taking a look at this word list, we will notice that it contains copyright comments at the beginning, which can be considered as part of the word list and clutter the results. We can use the following command to get rid of these lines with the -IC flag. Directory fuzzing. Now that we understand the concept of web fuzzing and know our word list, we should be ready to start using Ffuf to find web directories. Ffuf. Ffuf is pre-installed on your pwnbox instance. If you want to use it on your own machine, you can either use apt install ffuf-y or download it and use it from its GitHub repo. As a new user of this tool, we will start off by issuing the ffuf-h command to see how the tools can be used. As we can see, the help output is quite large, so we only kept the options that may become relevant for this module. Directory fuzzing. As we can see from the example above, the main two options are -w for word lists and -u for the URL. We can assign a keyword to a word list to refer to where we want to fuzz. For example, we can pick out our word list and assign the keyword fuzz to it by adding :fuzz after it. Next, as we want to be fuzzing for web directories, we can place the fuzz keyword where the directory would be within our URL. Now let's start our target in the question below and run our final command on it. We see that Ffuf tested for almost 90,000 URLs in less than 10 seconds. This speed may vary depending on your internet speed and ping if you used Ffuf on your machine, but it should be extremely fast still. We can even make it go faster if we are in a hurry by increasing the number of threads to 200, for example with -t 200. But this is not recommended, especially when used on a remote site, as it may disrupt it and cause a denial of service, or bring down your internet connection in severe cases. We do get a couple hits, and we can visit one of them that exists to verify. So /blog. We get an empty page, indicating that the directory does not have a dedicated page, but also shows that we do have access to it. as we do not get a HTTP code 404 not found or 403 access denied. In the next section, we will look for pages under this directory and see whether it really is empty or has hidden file pages. So we'll start our instance and we'll take a look at the question, spawn the target. In addition to the directory we found above, there is another directory that can be found. What is it? Well, let's see if it's in the... Okay, so they want us to look it up, so we will go ahead and open our command line and Ffuf, hold on. Alright, 2 F's and a U and an F. So Ffuf is our command, dash word lists. We're going to use this. I'm going to copy that and paste this in. So dash W, we're using the opt, useful, sec lists, discovery, web content in the directory list, 2.3 small text, and we want to, there we go, it was cut off. So have the :fuzz and our target there with dash U. Oops. So I'll copy that as well. And paste that in. Okay. So then we'll grab the server IP address and port and paste that in as well. And we'll let that run. See how long that takes? So we'll just do it from scratch again as practice. So Ffuf dash W for word lists. We'll see if it exists first. So cd user. CD user, CD share, CD word lists. See if they have it in here as well. CD derb. How about dirbuster? Okay, so they have it in here as well. So we can copy this or just use this. Let's check our results. It's still running. So just as practice, we're doing Ffuf, word list, user, share, word lists, /dirbuster, /directory list 2.3 dash medium, actually small, .txt, :fuzz, and then what was it? Dash U, and our target. Grab that, paste that in, and /fuzz. Did I do that right? Let's see. Port /fuzz. That looks right. Dash W, dash U. Containing an error. User share word list dirbuster directory list smail. That's the issue. One small typo. And there it goes. So if there are results up here, let's see. So forum, we had to hit right away, but we saw it here as well in our practice. So /forum, and let's also visit that in the browser just to see what it says. We'll go in Edge. It's faster. /forum. And there's nothing there. So we're going to carry on. Page fuzzing. We now understand the basic use of Ffuf through the utilization of word lists and keywords. Next, we will learn how to locate pages. Note, we can spawn the same target from the previous section for this section's examples as well. Extension fuzzing. In the previous section, we found that we had access to /blog, but the directory returned an empty page, and we cannot manually locate any links or pages. So we will once again utilize web fuzzing to see if the directory contains any hidden pages. However, before we start, we must find out what types of pages the website uses, like .html, .aspx, .php, or something else. One common way to identify that is by finding the server type through the HTTP response headers and guessing the extension. For example, if the server is Apache, then it may be .php, or if it was IIS, then it could be .aspx or .asp, and so on. This method is not very practical though, so we will again utilize Ffuf to fuzz the extension, similar to how we fuzzed for directories. Instead of placing the fuzz keyword where the directory name would be, we would place it where the extension would be, .fuzz, and use a word list for common extensions. We can utilize the following word lists and sec lists for extensions. Before we start fuzzing, we must specify which file that extension would be at the end of. We can always use two word lists and have a unique keyword for each, and then do two to fuzz for both, so fuzz_1.fuzz_2. However, there is one file that we can always find in most websites, which is index.asterisk. So we will use it as our file and fuzz extensions on it. The word list we chose already contains a dot, so we will not have to add the dot after index in our fuzzing. Now we can rerun our command, carefully placing our fuzz keyword where the extension would be after index. So it's the same command, not the same. So the web extensions word list and /blog index fuzz. So we do get a couple responses, a couple hits, but only .php gives us a response with the code 200. Great. We now know that this website runs on PHP. To start fuzzing for PHP files. Page fuzzing. We will now use the same concept of keywords we've been using with Ffuf. Use PHP as the extension, place our fuzz keyword where the file name should be, and use the same word list we used for fuzzing directories. We get a couple hits. Both have an HTTP code 200 response, meaning we can access them. Index.php has a size of 0, indicating that it's an empty page, while the other does not, which means that it has content. We can visit any of these pages to verify this. So in the question below, try to use what you learned in this section to fuzz the /blog directory and find all pages. One of them should contain a flag. What is the flag? So let's walk through this. So first, it wants us to, let's see if there's an extensions. Word list in here. You know what? To make it easy, we'll use this one. So first, remember we fuzzed for the extension. So we'll paste that in. So Ffuf dash word list. That looks good. And then dash U, our IP address and port. Paste that in. And it was /blog /index, and it doesn't need a period because it already has one in the list. And something went wrong. Let's see. Ffuf -w. Oh, another typo. Check your typing. /blog. So PHP's 403, PHP status code 200. So the next thing it went through was finding other pages there. So we can use our command from before, not with web extensions, but let's see if it's coming through. Okay, there we go. So we know the blog, it's in the blog directory, and then we want to fuzz. We know that it's .php. So we'll have a / there as well, and we'll run that. So we'll see it's going through many requests. There's a home. This is kind of small, so I'll go ahead and full screen this too. Okay. So just let me clear this and run it again. It's messy. Okay. We have a home index, blog home. So we can pull that up. We still got this open, so blog home.php, and there it is, right on the home page. We can copy that and paste this in. And carrying on. Recursive fuzzing. So far we have been fuzzing for directories, then going under these directories, and then fuzzing for files. However, if we had dozens of directories, each with their own subdirectories and files, this would take a very long time to complete. To be able to automate this, we will utilize what is known as recursive fuzzing. Recursive flags. When we scan recursively, it automatically starts another scan under any newly identified directories that may have on their pages until it has fuzzed the main website and all of its subdirectories. Some websites may have a big tree of subdirectories like login, user, content, uploads, etc. And this will expand the scanning tree and may take a very long time to scan them all. This is why it is always advised to specify a depth to our recursive scan, such that it will not scan for directories that are deeper than that depth. Once we fuzz the first directories, we can then pick the most interesting directories and run another scan to direct our scan better. In Ffuf, we can enable recursive scanning with the -recursive flag, and we can specify the depth with the -recursive -depth flag. If we specify recursive depth 1, it will only fuzz the main directories and their subdirectories, their direct subdirectories. If any subdirectories are identified, like login user, it will not fuzz them for pages. When using recursion in Ffuf, we can specify our extension with the -e.php. Note, we can still use .php as our page extension, as these extensions are usually site-wide. Finally, we will also add the flag -v to output the full URLs. Otherwise, it may be difficult to tell which .php file lies under which directory. Recursive scanning. Let us repeat the first command we used, add the recursion flags to it while specifying .php as our extension, and see what results occur. This is still running. As we can see this time, the scan took much longer, sent almost 6 times the number of requests, and the word list doubled in size. Once with .php and once without. Still, we got a large number of results, including all the results we previously identified. So try to repeat what you learned so far to find more files or directories. One of them should give you a flag. What is the content of the flag? So it wants us to do the same thing we've been doing. We'll do this. We'll go recursive. Let's just run this. So /fuzz recursion is the flag, and then recursion depth. Okay. So /fuzz recursion dash recursion depth 1 dash e.php. That's our extension flag, and -v for verbose. Oh yeah, let's do this in over here. Let's refresh this page so we can see a little better. Let's kill that for a better view. Okay, here we go. So it found blog and forum like before. Then it's going to go into those. So it's fuzzing through the forum now. And it's got 175,000 requests. It said that half of them are with PHP and half of them are without. Let's see if I did that right as well. Does it have the dot? It does have the dot. Okay. Oh. Did it again. See if it'll stay big. Oh, jeez. Okay. Forum and blog. A lot of nonsense. So I wonder if we'd be able to just guess it. Flag.php or under forum. Guess we'll just have to be patient. Okay. This was not the one we were looking at. I don't think it's found anything quite yet. But also we can't really tell because we can't see. Okay, so what I'll do is this. I will copy this and I'll just do blog and forum in two separate tabs. So I'll copy this. I'll start it here. /blog. And then in one more, I will do /forum. See if that helps us. And fuzz flag.php forum/flag. Wasn't that what I guessed? Maybe we have to curl it because it's not coming through. Or maybe just try to visit it from here. Open link. Okay. Yeah, for some reason my guess did not work. Forum/flag.php. Same IP address, 9423764. I guess it wouldn't open in Chrome and Edge there. Anyways, we found it. Carrying on. All right. DNS Records. Once we access the page under /blog, we got a message saying admin panel moved to academy.hackthebox. If we visit the website in our browser, we can't connect to the server at www.academy.htb. This is because the exercises we do are not public websites that can be accessed by anyone, but local websites within Hack the Box. Browsers only understand how to go to IPs, and if we provide them with a URL, they try to map the URL to an IP by looking into the local etc hosts file and the public DNS domain name system. If the URL is not in either, it would not know how to connect to it. So that's why it wouldn't load for us. If we visit the IP directly, the browser goes to that IP directly and knows how to connect to it. But in this case, we tell it to go to academy.htb, so it looks into the local etc host file and doesn't find any mention of it. It asks the public DNS about it, such as Google's DNS 8.8.8.8, and does not find any mention of it since it is not a public website, and eventually fails to connect. So, to connect to academy.htb, we would have to add it to our etc/host file. We can achieve that with the following command. So we can sudo shell and then command echo that into the etc hosts. Now we can visit the website. Don't forget to add the port and the URL and see that we can reach the website. However, we get the same website we got when we visit the IP directly. So academy.htb is the same domain we've been testing so far. We can verify that by visiting /blog/index.php and see that we can access the page. When we run our tests on this IP, we did not find anything about admin or panels, even when we did a full recursive scan on our target. So in that case, we will start looking for subdomains under *academy.htb and see if we find anything, which is what we will attempt in the next section. Subdomain fuzzing. In this section, we will learn how to use Ffuf to identify subdomains. For example, *website.com for any website. Subdomains. A subdomain is any website underlying another domain. For example, photos.google.com is the photos subdomain of google.com. In this case, we are simply checking different websites to see if they exist by checking if they have a public DNS record that would direct us or would redirect us to a working server IP. So let's run a scan and see if we get any hits. Before we can start our scan, we need two things: a word list and a target. Luckily for us, in the sec lists repo, there's a specific section for subdomain word lists, consisting of common words usually used for subdomains. We can find it in opt useful sec lists discovery /DNS. In our case, we would be using a shorter word list, which is subdomains -top 1,005,000.txt. If we want to extend our scan, we can pick a larger list. As for our target, we will use the hackthebox.eu as our target and run our scan on it. Let us use Ffuf and place the fuzz keyword in the place of subdomains and see if we get any hits. We see that we do get a few hits back. We can verify these are actual subdomains by visiting one of them. We see that indeed these are working subdomains. Now we can try running the same thing on academy.htb and see if we get any hits back. We see that we do not get any hits back. Does this mean that there are no subdomain under academy.htb? No. This means that there are no public subdomains under academy.htb, as it does not have a public DNS record, as previously mentioned. Even though we did add academy.htb to our Etsy host file, we only added the main domain. So when Ffuf is looking for other subdomains, it will not find them in Etsy hosts, and will ask the public DNS, which obviously will not have them. So our question in this section: Hack the Box has an online swag shop. Try running a subdomain fuzzing test on hackthebox.eu to find it. What is the full domain of it? So we'll close this out. I believe it's the same thing as before. We'll use Ffuf and our word lists from the pwn box. Oops. I did it again. So I'll copy this. So in our URL, we want to fuzz.academy or our IP or hackthebox.eu. So we'll paste this in. We'll go to the browser version. We'll refresh for a bigger view. Okay, so we'll paste this in if it lets me. Did it freeze? Trying. Copy it again. So Ffuf, our word list, dash U, our IP. Oh, I lost it. Okay, I will grab that from another tab. So copy that into here with fuzz at the beginning. Oh wait, we're not using IP address. We're using hackthebox.eu. So we're doing fuzz and then dot hackthebox.eu. I cannot see. We have U twice. Backslash. Okay, let's try that. Okay, it's Ffuf. We got the F in the wrong place. Try it again. Okay. And there we go. So Ffuf dash W with our word list dash U HTB fuzz dot hackthebox.eu. And let's just check, probably because it is hackthebox.eu to find it. Well, maybe there it goes again. Okay, it's freaking out. Let's just try hackthebox.com then. If anything works. Let's verify the command here. Do we need a backslash at the end of it? It's freaking out, so I'll just stick over here then. .eu backslash. It looks a little different. But I wonder why it is not working. Maybe it's dot, or it's HTTPS. We can take a look. Almost there. HTTPS :// fuzz dot hackthebox.eu. Let's see if that'll do it. Hackthebox.eu. What is the full domain? Swag shop. Let's try swag.hackthebox.eu. Let's try HTTP or HTTPS. What is the full domain? Or shop. Now I'm just brute forcing the answer. Shop. Hint. Does this look right? Fuzz word list URL. We tried it with both. dot EU. hackthebox.eu. What if we didn't use HTTP at all? It wouldn't take it. So HTTP colon backslash fuzz. Let's grab the whole command and just use it here. Oops. And then put in hackthebox.eu. No such file. Oops. Okay. Clear this out. Okay. So that should work. But I have a feeling it won't. Yeah, nothing's returning on this. Try running a subdomain fuzzing test. What is the full domain of it? Swag shop. Let's see if we can even access that. hackthebox.eu. It routes here. Company swag. According to this is a .store, so this was specifically asking for subdomains. So .eu. So we had to fuzz hackthebox.store. HTTPS. HTTP. Or is an old version store.hackthebox.eu because it wants the EU version. Okay, so why I didn't take that? Maybe because this is no longer valid. We will try. It routes to that. So I'm not sure. Let's see if if we fuzz it the other way. Let's see what happens. Hackthebox.fuzz. Hackthebox.music. It's a short list for 5,000. Interesting. So if we visit it, let's see what happens. Hackthebox.music. And like it said, it might be a private. Anyways, we ran this, we tried it. It didn't work, so we'll continue from there. So we'll go ahead and stop here for today. We will continue the Ffuf module with vhost fuzzing, filtering requests, and the parameter fuzzing and the skills assessment next time. Once again, my name is Sleeper, and that's a wrap. Take care.